The show that dominated headlines and took the world by storm in 2021 may have become Netflix's biggest show of all time. But behind the scenes, it's a completely darker story. It's a story of money, desperation, and crisis. Exactly like the Squid Game itself. South Korean film director Hwang Dong-hyuk was named as one of Time's 100 most influential people of 2022. That came after the humongous success of his creation of survival drama television series Squid Game. You'd think that international success and boatloads of money from Netflix would be enough to make anyone happy, but I've decided to delve deeper into the truth behind the hit show. What you'll find is that not everything is as it seems. I'm going to unearth the dark truth behind Squid Game and find out why the creator no longer wants anything to do with his own show. For any efficient analysis, I believe that you have got to go all the way back to the beginning in order to unearth as many truths as possible. We must look at the early thoughts of how this show was conceived and how it rose to become the juggernaut that is spoken about around the world. Creator Hwang Dong-hyuk based this show on his own experiences after he competed and won the Squid Game. I'm kidding. Let's go back to the year 2008. The Olympics were being held in Beijing. Barack Obama was only months away from becoming the first African American president of the USA. Breaking Bad premiered its first episode, and most important to this analysis, a global financial crisis was rife in the world's economy. To those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, I'm referencing the Great Recession of 2007 to 2009. This period of time saw a severe global economic downturn triggered by the collapse of the US housing market and the ensuing financial crisis. It was the worst economic recession since the Great Depression, characterized by a sharp contraction in economic activity, massive job losses, and a significant decline in global financial markets. A big theme that resonates in Squid Game is the socio-economic commentary on how people who are struggling to make ends meet are quite literally willing to put their life on the line in a children's game for the chance to win millions. All of this is orchestrated by those on the opposite end of the socio-economic spectrum. These people have more money than they know what to do with, seeing them gamble and bet millions on these humans who are competing in the games. Like I said, it's pretty dark, and as you can probably tell, it's the Great Recession that influenced Dong-hyuk to create this social commentary fueled story. So, in 2008, Hwang Dong-hyuk put pen to paper and decided to begin writing the script as a movie. Throughout his life, he had been a big fan of reading manga and watching anime. He went on record stating, "I freely admit that I've had great inspiration from Japanese comics and animation over the years. When I started, I was in financial straits myself and spent much time in cafes reading comics including Battle Royale and Liar Game." Having not read these manga myself, I did some research and it became very apparent to me how he drew from these to create Squid Game. Battle Royale takes a look at junior high school children who are put in a situation in which they are forced to fight to the death. And Liar Game looks at someone who receives a huge amount of money and finds out they're in a game in which they must lie and manipulate to obtain money from the other contestants. Both of these most certainly resonate with multiple themes of Squid Game. With his script complete, Hwang Dong-hyuk began travelling to many studio companies in order to pitch the script. Every single studio declined, saying it was too unrealistic and too violent. I bet those studios are kicking themselves now. 10 years later, in 2018, he decided to reconfigure the script into a TV series. K-dramas became popular in the early 1990s, driven by the Korean wave. A cultural phenomenon that saw Korean popular culture, including dramas, gain some international recognition. It wasn't until midway through the 2010s and early 2020s though that saw a boom in K-dramas across the world. This era saw the rise of online platforms that made it easier for international audiences to access Korean content with English subtitles. At the time, Netflix was just starting business in South Korea, and they wanted to increase their investment in original Korean dramas. Dong-hyuk seized the moment and the perfect opportunity to meet with Netflix and pitch his newly refurbished TV series version of Squid Game. Netflix wanted in, and the rest, as we know, is history. After 10 years of fighting for his passion project to make it onto the screen, Hwang Dong-hyuk had found success. Little did he know, it was only the very beginning. Within days of its release, it became a sensation. Squid Game was the first ever K-drama to top Netflix's top 10 most watched TV show charts globally. Not only that, it reached number 1 in 94 countries. After 28 days, Squid Game had amassed numbers never even heard of. 142 million households had tuned in to watch the show. The season eventually came to a close, but the show did not. Hwang Dong-hyuk had originally intended to do 1 season. After seeing the success, he was content with how everything panned out and was happy to leave it as it was at the end of season 1. Netflix wanted more. Hwang Dong-hyuk was approached by Netflix to write more seasons of Squid Game. He'd already revealed to Variety that during the production of season 1, he'd lost 8 or 9 teeth due to stress. Pressure of keeping Netflix's new cash cow afloat had gotten to him. Not only that, but the intense themes of the story and what it was rooted in had a personal connection to him. He had suffered through the Great Recession and Netflix wanted more profit from this hit story. It would seem that all that mattered to Netflix was the fact that their net worth had increased by almost $1 billion. A man literally lost teeth, but the higher ups only had one priority: making money. That's not to say Netflix didn't support Dong-hyuk, but he did make it very clear that he was happy to step away from Squid Game after telling its full story in the first season. This really feels like art imitating life. Those VIPs bet their millions in order to make more millions at the expense of the lives of the contestants. While on a much smaller scale, the creator losing teeth and Netflix continually pushing him to further stress to produce more money for them definitely feels like a reflection of the social commentary that Dong-hyuk was trying to put out in the world. He himself had now fallen victim to the very thing he set out to raise awareness of. Despite the show raking in $900 million for Netflix, the creator himself wasn't actually given any kind of bonus. Dong-hyuk went on record saying the following: "I'm not that rich, but I do have enough. I have enough to put food on the table. And it's not like Netflix is paying me a bonus. Netflix paid me according to the original contract." I think the takeaway from that is the fact that despite creating the biggest show on planet Earth, he wasn't even compensated as such. Now, with the immense success of Squid Game, Netflix was breathing down Hwang Dong-hyuk's throat. He was against a wall. Luckily, that wall had a lot of money on it. Dong-hyuk was asked by the BBC why he changed his mind on writing more of the show. He had a one-word answer: money. Just like the contestants in the game, Dong-hyuk was ready to put himself through more stress and discomfort in order to earn money. It makes me so sad that he wasn't given money that was reflective of the success of the first season and felt he had to put himself through more stress in order to get the money that he deserved way before seasons 2 and 3 of the show. Over the course of the next year, he got to work on writing the script for the next 2 seasons of Squid Game. The pressure was obviously higher, with now almost 100 countries glaring at the sequel of the games that captivated the world. He knew he had to deliver, and what was once his passion project had become something more than he ever expected it to be. The scripts were handed over to Netflix and season 2 and 3 were filmed back to back. Hwang Dong-hyuk was done. Days before the premiere of the second season, he spoke to Variety very candidly. "I'm so exhausted. I'm so tired. In a way, I have to say, I'm so sick of Squid Game. I'm just thinking about going to some remote island and having my own free time without any phone calls from Netflix." Within the space of 3 years, his 10-year love of his passion project had vanished. Just like the contestants in Squid Game, there was nothing else on his mind but being on a remote island. I for one hope he gets compensated as much as the Squid Game winner gets paid, because creating the biggest show in the world's history is no easy feat. He lost 9 damn teeth and he deserves some damn respect. I hope he gets to head out to a remote tropical island, sip on pina coladas all day and watch the sunset as he receives accolades for creating something completely genius and revolutionary in the TV world. Overall, I'm sad for Hwang Dong-hyuk, but I'm grateful for the legacy he has created. He was somebody who introduced so many people in the Western world to the incredible world of Korean dramas, and without him, who knows if there would have been such a boom in interest. Knowing the truth behind the influences of Squid Game and the experiences the creator had gone through only enriches the show's social commentary. Both within the show and to some extent in the creation of the show, It really offers a powerful social commentary on the dangers of unchecked capitalism and the economic inequality that comes with it. Squid Game is an important piece of media that I think will go down in the history books for generations beyond us. More stories like this will be told over time, and I'm sure more creators and writers will go through similar experiences until a change comes. So, with the thought of Hwang Dong-hyuk on a remote island, I'll raise a pina colada and say cheers to Dong-hyuk, and thank you for what you have created. I hope you're counting every last one in your bank account, and I hope also that with time you can look back at Squid Game and know how much you are appreciated for creating this groundbreaking show. I want to thank everybody who watched this video today. I appreciate you so much. I'm really trying to grow this channel out, and it's my little passion project. I get to talk about all my favourite TV shows and give commentary. I get to analyse or do essays, and I love doing this, and I appreciate all the support that comes with it. So please hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed this video for more coverage of all of your favourite TV shows. But that's it for today, folks. I thoroughly hope you all enjoyed watching, and I hope that you're all staying happy, safe and positive out there. But until next time, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, do all of that wonderful stuff. But until your next video, I've been Tom, you've been super. Good night.